So second from the last subsection under 6, it refers to Exhibit C. Exhibit C right now is just a cover page.
Sorry, Josh, where are you at?
It's the second to
Oh,
the
second to
last.
last, okay. Yep.
Sure. Exhibit C right now is just a cover page. And I would suggest that for Exhibit C, we insert Wisconsin Department of Transportation's standard specifications for highway and structure construction in Wisconsin. Make that a nonpartisan opinion based. How do we fix this road if we need to?
As long as you're talking about that section, Exhibit A is a map of the leased property. Okay, so you have, shouldn't we put all these in
Similar to that, I think we could incorporate all of those.
there? Let's add the other photos and diagrams in here as well. All right, thanks.
Bottom of section 8, you had a note in here that the section is under review by your bonding agent. Wondering if you have any input.
Well, really I wanted to see what you all were thinking in terms of that. Usually for a road, it's 1.5 miles. We were gonna suggest $20,000 as the bond, but really it's up to you all.
My question would be is if that bond is continuing, if it's noted. To me, 50,000 is twofold. And this is going to sound bad out loud. Do we trust them that they're going to fix it, or do we worry that they might not? If we worry that they might not, 50,000 is, to me, the bottom starting point of this.
I was actually gonna talk about this as well as, is 50,000 enough? I
So,
definitely don't wanna lower it.
above and beyond that, my question as far as the security, and this is somewhat of a Jonathan question, we don't entirely have the ability to shut the job down per se. We do. We can repeal the right-of-way permits and all the things that go with it. But as far as the actual site construction, that isn't. Site construction as it relates to the town roads. They have to operate within the confines of this road agreement. And a security is only that. This is not a development agreement type of security where it's covering all public improvements like they're starting from scratch. They're more or less ensuring that something's going to happen. So in my mind of minds with this, a bond and their insurance coverage goes hand in hand as belt and suspenders with this, where if we have a claim that they've damaged the road beyond $50,000, the 50 grand is the carrot on the stick. And the insurance policy is the sharp pointy end of the stick. Am I?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it boils down to.
So to me, at that point, if we have a claim, it's gonna take longer. 50 grand goes quite a ways on a road to, I'll say, scab it together to make it publicly safe and passable. So that's I guess my point on the bond piece, but I didn't know if there was more specifics coming from that or not, but. What?
I agree with you. I don't want to lower it at all from 50,000. I was even thinking that might be a little bit light. And the reason I was thinking that is, it brings up another question that I don't know if this goes back to the engineer and get an agreement there, but the opinion on what a repair is it a minimum repair necessary to be safe, and such repair might 2 months later be washed out, or or again, a problem, or is it a repair to the point where it's gonna sustain itself for a reasonable period of time? And I think, and I didn't really see, and I may have missed it, I didn't really see anywhere in here where it discussed what level of repair.
So that's why that exhibit C that we talked about, two paragraphs ago or what have you, to me, using DOT standard for highway construction, that becomes your minimum.
Okay,
Your minimum fix is not cold patch in a hole. It is
okay.
whatever prescription may come out of that.
Is 50,000, you're the highway guys, 50,000 reasonable, or
I-
should we ask for?
I think it is very cautious, especially coupled with an insurance policy that they would have to cover the rest of it.
You're fine with 50. Okay. Works for me.
Subsection 10, indemnity. I highlighted the entire parcel. Experience has told me that Jonathan hopefully will carve this apart. Frankly, I believe that it would be mostly redline, but I'm gonna leave that up to our attorney's opinion because there are tons of municipal immunities that go along with the town. This isn't just a private entity type of thing. And for us to indemnify a private corporation, I would be surprised if that language stays as it's written.
And I would agree with that, especially third parties that we have no idea who they are.
Insurance coverage coupled with what we just talked about, that's fine. Under 12 for notices, it's at the top of the page above 13. It says all notices deemed given upon personal delivery within 3 days, but it also talks about everything being sent certified mail. So certified mail precludes the fact that it would be there in 3 days. You'll have your written receipt. So I struck out 3 days after being deposited in the U.S. mail because I know that is a farce these days, and 2 business days after be depositing with an overnight delivery service. I put upon receipt of mail certificate because it says above that everything's going to be sent certified mail. That's how delivery can be input. Sub 14 in the section that you had sent over, highlighted note to draft, company won't commence construction until 2026, which obviously it currently is. Town and company could enter into this agreements once company knows the date that the construction will start. Frankly, I'm fine with that. Rather than this being subject to the term, is that as soon as they start, this becomes applicable. Or executable, I should say.
Okay.
All the way down to 21. Attorney's fees. In the event any action between the 2 parties here too for enforcement or interpretation of any term or condition of this agreement, the prevailing party in such action shall. I struck out everything after that and would again defer to our town attorney, be subject to any court-issued penalties, fines, or forfeitures, and not just recoverable attorney's fees that are reasonable. If we get into a court dispute, whatever the court says is
Makes sense.
22. I suggest we strike. I surely hope we don't end up in a jury trial about road use, but nonetheless, waiving it at this point seems short-sighted. And that's my piece.
The rest just mostly boilerplate. So yeah, I'm good.
So with those noted exceptions and recommended changes and review by our attorney, I would move that we send that red line draft to the town attorney and authorize him to distribute it to One Energy after the fact.
And you've got all the changes recommended there. Well, should we not wait for Julie to get back to us on some of our questions, so that we change some of them?
She could, without having to take any action, she's taken down notes of your recommendations. We could wait for their, I guess, final copy before really taking any action on it. If you prefer to do it that way.
I mean, you could still send it to Jonathan, I mean, he's got a hard copy, you can still give him a head start on it. Does that require this motion?
Nope.
No. Withdraw your motion.
Pardon?
I'll withdraw your motion. Do you not have to?
I don't have to withdraw a motion, do I?
No,
All right.
no second, so.
All right. Any other discussion on this topic? Okay, moving on. Discussion regarding county's proposed, thank you, Julie. Appreciate it. Discussion regarding county's proposed accessory dwelling unit ordinance, ADU, and possible recommendation regarding the same. Much like the solar farm issue, unrelated, somewhat related. The county had just asked this board, as all boards within the county, for their thoughts and recommendations on it. So that's why this is on our agenda. Do we have any other discussion that we want to have on this? Any input, Jonathan or Josh?
I emailed back and forth with the county administrator. For what it's worth, right now, there's a public hearing scheduled for the Planning and Zoning Committee. County Planning and Zoning Committee on the 19th. The committee plans to move, the committee plans to vote on it Monday the 23rd. After that, if it passes, it would go to the county board March 10th. So, we still have, obviously, they've continued forward in their revision and adoption process. There's still time, either a public hearing or via email if we want to make any suggested revisions to it, but we can take no action, take action to recommend they do it, or take action to recommend they deny it, I guess, at this point.
I have received no input from constituents at all on this and how they feel. So that is the March 10th. I just checked, is a Tuesday, and that's the day after our March meeting. We may want to. A thought is to have Blaine ask Blaine Paulson, our county rep, to come to our March meeting and answer any questions on it, maybe from us or constituents, and put that on the agenda that I'll be here. Thoughts on that?
It's a reasonable idea. He sits on the zoning board, so.
All right, that a motion required to send an invite for our next meeting to Blaine? Do we need a motion to do that?
No.
So if you would just, you and I'll talk and figure out who's gonna call and let them know. Okay.
At this point, I think the draft that they've put together has advantages. There's always the opportunity for a seemingly good plan to go awry, like short-term rentals and all that kind of stuff, but they've relatively locked down, number one, what parcels would be available to, which would exclude pretty much the entirety of the Lake District. And I think that, like with any other zoning code, if you implement it and it doesn't go well, you can either modify it or repeal it. But there's an opportunity at this point for the town to be able to grow within its footprint without really disturbing more land or other things within some of these parcels that are already developed as residential parcels, and build some tax base and hopefully get some people to send their kids to our schools and all that kind of fun stuff.
Any comment, opinions from those here tonight on this issue? Okay. We'll invite Blaine to our March meeting then. Okay, next, update and possible action or direction on town board order previously issued to Robert Cease, owner of W1317 Blue Spring Lake Drive, Palmyra, Wisconsin, including possible increase of citation fees. Previously issued order required property owner to remove debris from the property. We have gotten zero movement from Mr. Cease on this. Starting January 1st, correct, Michelle, we have a $25 a day fine.
We're gonna have to ask Jonathan, I'm sorry, I don't know. We haven't billed him yet.
It's currently at 25. from the
25.
last
Started
letter.
January
Effective
1st,
January 1?
26.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so at this point, January would have been $770, $725 a day, $750, $800, somewhere around there. My math tonight is. Anyway, so we've got to bill. Would you recommend we bill monthly, or
Monthly, I think would be sufficient.
Okay.
let's get a invoice out to him for the month of January. At this point, because he is not doing anything, I would make a motion that we increase the daily fine to the maximum is $50, right?
Correct.
To the maximum $50 per day, starting, gonna be backdated February 1st or as of tomorrow?
It would have to be toward.
As of February 10th, that's tomorrow.
Mhm.
Increase to $50 fine for inaction on our previously ordered property improvement or fix. Is there a second?
Specific to the fine?
Yeah.
I would second that.
All in favor? Or is this a roll call?
Nope, they can be.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passes. The fine increases on Mr. Cease starting February 10th, 2026 to $50 a day. Should we send him a letter? We should send him a letter advising that.
I think
Can that come from Michelle or should that come from you?
I've been doing the letter so I can work off the previous ones. Might be easier to do it that way. The last letter I did send by certified mail, and they were unable to personally deliver it to him. Again, and I used the address that was listed on his tax bills for the properties he does own. I think I did talk to Michelle a little bit about this, and we both confirmed that was the
It's an Eagle
address,
address.
and that's the one I use. So I think maybe I'll do another tax search for him, but sending it to a letter to multiple addresses at this point, just to make sure he's aware of this. But we've put it publicly on the agenda, so.
And if he does not pay these and we get to the end of, near the end of next year, these fines can be added to his tax bill?
As I understand it, it can be added as a special charge to the tax roll. Yes.
Okay. And we're able to, I know at this point we have the ability, the town has the ability to fix it ourselves, pay for it, and bill him back. Obviously, there's going to be a significant cost to do that. Have we gotten any quotes?
No, but I did ask a lady in the community who's recently had some junk hauled, and she said it was $1,500 per truckload. I assume it's just a plain pickup truck, but I don't know.
I would think we'd want to at least get a quote, Josh. We need a motion to ask for a quote.
Not at this point, if we're not going to go forward with the abatement yet. I think.
I just want to see a quote, how much, so we understand.
Sure. Oh, you can do that.
What would the cost
without-
is. Okay.
Yep.
So we need to move forward with that.
I conveniently have also been provided with 2 points of contact from residents in the area that I can forward along to our clerk as well. Of them hoping we find someone to help.
Okay. It came back, there's 2 cars out there? 3?
I believe there's.
There was 3, there's now 2.
There's
but
2
right,
unlicensed.
you can have 2 unlicensed.
There's 2 unlicensed cars, and the county came back to us and said they're allowed 2 unlicensed cars. My question is, what is a unlicensed, and I don't mean this, we all know what unlicensed means, but at what point does it not become an unlicensed vehicle and it becomes, there's weeds and trees growing through these vehicles and they have
Where's the line between license and junk?
junk or, an obstruction or a, safety hazard, whatever. Where's that line?
Yeah, I'll double check on that. I did think, so Michelle did forward me the email from the county regarding their findings on the vehicles, so I think there might be some, depending on the conditions, I'm not sure if I've actually seen the pictures of these vehicles. I may have seen them at some point, and
Frank had taken some,
Yeah.
but I think it was last spring or something.
so I'll double check to see what constitutes a junk vehicle, even if it is technically have the proper permitting.
Alright. Anything else on this, Josh?
Well, yeah. I don't think that the fine is gonna deter him at this point, frankly, if it's costing $800 a month, to spur some sort of.
Well, that's gonna go to 1,600 February, somewhat less than that, because it's only 28 days, 27 days.
Yeah.
But 28, but starting in March, that's gonna get up to a lot, double that.
It does appear he pays his property taxes though, so.
So it's $1,400 for February, it was $775 for January. I mean, this is gonna start to get mildly real here shortly, and I think we need to keep in mind compliance date one way or the other, and how are we gonna do something that actually remedies the issue rather than just creating revenue. I mean, I'm all for additional revenue for the town, but this isn't exactly the methodology that I envision with it, so.
What is the beyond cleaning it up ourselves, paying for it and billing him back?
Mhm.
What are the recourses there? I mean, you said earlier that we can't, and I'm using the wrong term, eminent domain or whatever, something where we would force a sale of the property and take our, I mean, that's not on the table at any point, correct?
No, basically, as I see it, there's two options: continue to bill him with the daily forfeitures, and at a certain point, if you decide you want to go through with actual abatement, go that route and have someone clean it up. Again, apply that as a special charge against his tax loan.
I mean, cause we're like tiptoeing into waters that I'm not sure the town's ever really been a part of before,
Right.
cause there's three different aspects of this right now. One is the vehicles, which the county's pretty much said this red truck that's got a tree going through it, and the gold colored Cherokee that's on Google Maps that is still sitting there is one thing. Two is the other yard ornamentation that he has, and the third thing, frankly, is the condition of the property. And I don't, like, we need to be either super transparent or have a very good game plan when it comes to what is quote unquote acceptable condition for houses in town. And this isn't meant to be demeaning to anybody, but there's a lot of houses with paint that's chipping in the town, right? And at what point do we say it's as clean as it's gonna be, it's in the shape that it's in? Because I drive past one every single day, sometimes 4 times a day, that is in worse physical condition than this property is.
I agree. I agree.
And we gotta be,
Property can be condemned for the county.
So an option to us is go to the county and have them. Okay. Can the Lake District, we have a meeting Thursday night, does the Lake District have any play in this?
I don't think so.
Strictly a town issue.
I think it's, strictly a town issue.
if the Lake District, which I don't think they do, but if the Lake District has some sort of subdivision code specific to the Lake District when it was created, the Lake District may be able to say you need to paint your house or get fallen down garage picked up, whatever it is. More strict, think of like an HOA, right? That kind of a scenario. I don't believe that exists.
Yeah, well, I'll find out Thursday night.
you know, that's, there's three issues. One is obviously registered vehicles. The second is yard debris, which is in, you know, a neighborhood town problem. And the third is the property itself. And I think when we get to step three, we gotta be pretty darn careful about he who lives in a glass house.
I would absolutely, yep.
So, there's parts of our town hall that are a little less than super shiny, that it is what it is.
All right, anything else on this? Jonathan?
Not from,
Just a question, you're having trouble serving the paperwork with the certified mail to the owner. I understand that. My question is there anything that the county can do or the sheriff's department to serve those papers on your behalf? I don't know that, I'm not an attorney.
well, you can have the sheriff's department, you can pay them, I think it's $60-$70 to have them serve certain papers. Usually those are summons and complaints related to and require personal service.
This is a little bit weird compared to that.
The complication there also is they don't presently live in this property, and Eagle's in Waukesha County, so we'd have to involve
Oh, yeah, 2 counties.
a different county, so.
It's just a thought.
So, yeah,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
with trying to keep costs lower for the town, I think at least sending letters to multiple addresses that he's listed as the owner of, hopefully one of them makes it into his hands.
So if we, obviously certified mail, you need to sign for it. It means he's gotta go into town and go to the post office in Eagle. If we send it right, I think the first 2 rounds we sent it to this address, and it came back either undeliverable or what have you. But I don't know that we sent uncertified mail to his tax address. I think we sent certified mail to his tax address and it came back. So if we just send him a letter to his tax bill address that's not certified and one that is, maybe one or the other of them show up.
Right.
Did we get a receipt back for certified at all?
Which is my point, like.
Yeah, no, I get
You
that.
get the notice that says you gotta come sign for it.
Where I'm going with
I
that,
actually have one from the first letter we sent him. It's actually right behind that photograph on there.
where I'm
Right
going
behind you.
with that, Jonathan, is he pays nothing, thousands of dollars end of the year, he put on his tax bill, and then he claims he was never given any notice.
Mhm.
Is keeping, obviously, you keep records, we
Right.
keep records of these letters going out. I'm sure if we certified, we get a receipt with the letters, et cetera, et cetera. Will he have a case to fight back on that, saying we never, what letters? We never got any letters.
No, we've taken multiple avenues here to apprise him of the situation, and he was aware of it because he was at the very first meeting where it was first addressed as well.
Anything else on this? All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
I second the move to adjourn, motion to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Meeting's adjourned. Thanks, everybody.